Skipidi 72, partea 1, tocmai ce a apărut, așa că salutare fraților și bine v-am găsit la o nouă reacție Skipidi Toilet. Bă, sincer, a trecut 2 săptămâni de când a mai apărut un episod nou. Din câte am înțeles, creatorul a avut nevoie de vreo câteva zile pauză să se odinească și de-aia acest episod a apărut foarte târziu, dar oricum deja în imaginea asta vedem această astrotoaletă, deci da, o să fie destul de isent, abia aștept să reacționăm, să vedem cum o să fie. Și dacă vă place această reacție și bineînțeles animație Skipidi Toilet, nu uitați să dați un like și subscribe pentru că mă ajută extrem de mult să ne strângem și noi 2000 de abonați pe această comunitate mirobolantă pe care o avem noi aici. Și o mare parte de voi care urmăriți clipurile nu sunteți abonați, deci ar trebui să vă abonați pentru că pierdeți foarte multe lucruri. Și nu uitați că în descriere aveți serverul meu de Discord, unde mai vorbim, vă mai anunț când postez episoade. Deci nu uitați să clicați linkul din descriere. Bun, ia, haide să-i dăm drumul, să vedem. Bun, deci are 3 minute și 6 secunde. Aha, deci vedem aici când a murit plage cameraman. Bun, și am văzut asta cu camera offline. Bun. Opa, și vedem de undeva ce e aici. Ia stai puțin, asta mi se pare cunoscută perspectiva asta, ia stați puțin. Voi vedeți? Știți cine e asta? Este tipul ăla care gen nu are picioare și are un fel de costum de-ăsta, un costum de-ăsta meca și poate să controleze. Nu știu cum să vă explic, că ăla e. Și trage cu diferite chestii, nu mă gândeam că are și un GPS. Nu știu mai exact cum se numește acest cameraman, dar știu exact care e. Da, hai să vedem. Ok, nu mai merge aia, camera offline. Ia să vedem. Hopa! Deja începe itens cu rachetuțe. Ia! Mamă, vezi șar? Mamă, ce bucată i-a dat, ești de bun! Ok. Oleu, îi scrie ecranul! Mamă, i-a băgat-o, i-a băgat-o. Ok. Mamă. Dar câte vedem, bă, are și ăsta armele alea care le avea bicameramanul ăla care a murit într-un episod. În episodul anterior, cred că s-a uitat cu side-disc-ul. Mamă, dar uitați-vă că sunt! Mamă! VS, FBI, open up! Chiar aici, de față. Ia vezi! Ia! Păi n-are niciun efect, nu mamă, are cârlic. Mamă! Opa! Ia! Ce a venit? Ce e asta, bă? Bă, prezocri, păi am crezut că e Titan cameraman. Dar e un fel de mașinărie, ok. Vezi că e bună mașinăria asta, ok. Deci au o nouă mașinărie. Ok, ia. Mamă, cine e bă ăsta? Nu are țigara în gură ăla. Mamă, s-a dus mașinăria? Hai că s-a dus dacă e. Mamă. S-a dus. Vezi că se descurcă. Like. Mă, da, cameramanul ăsta are o mână normală și are o mână mai avansată de robot. Ești, că și mâna aia de robot, dar aia e mai de robot, gen. Ia. Opa. Vine calcă ăsta și de asta de așa. Ia. Aruncă cu hârtie igienică, gen grenadă. Mamă, frate. Ia cârligul. Ce arată ăla? Nu mai are ce să facă. Opa, ce se întâmplă? Aoleu, direct G-Mac, ești de bun? Asta e de... Papă! Mamă, ce le face la ăștia G-Mac? Și să trag arma aia că... Are cut omul meu! Mamă, s-a dus și noua invenție. RIP. Mamă, explodează totul. Mama, trebuie să sară din costum. Păi, ăsta are picioare sau? Că din câte știu ăsta nu are picioare. Uite, iar de la cu containere. Vorbesc în schipitoleză, nu înțelege. Asta e asta toaleta. Ia. A zis ceva, dar nu înțeles prea bine. Mamă, vrea să lupte cu G-Man. Ia. Mamă, să luptă și atunci, ești nebun? Mamă. Se pregătește de o luptă intensă între G-Man și Astro Toaleta, mamă. Bun, fraților, acum suntem la episodul cu secrete și teorii de bineînțeles de la băiatul nostru cu care ne-am obișnuit.
Hello everyone, Elite Cameraman here. Today's episode was nuts. We just witnessed the start of one of the craziest battles we might see in the whole series.
Deja episodul începe cu o bătălie extrem de bună.
3 weeks of waiting, episode 72, part 1 of Skipidi Toilet finally came out, and the ending really did leave me speechless. But it wasn't just the ending, we also got to see some of the OG characters once again, like the Strider camera and Mech cameraman, who was the...
Strider cameraman, da, mă, mi se pare mie că e cunoscut. Meci cameraman, așa mă se chema ăsta, mă. Deci suntem din perspectiva lui Meci cameraman. Nu mai știam eu cum îl cheamă.
POV cameraman of today's episode.
Deci așa îl cheamă.
We'll talk about all this and why the Astro toilets are after G-Man toilet later in the video. I think we can all safely say that we are in for a crazy ride when part 2 of episode 72 comes out. So if you don't want to miss any news, leaks, or updates about episode 72 part 2, make sure to like this video and subscribe. We are getting really close to 1.5 million subscribers, and if all of you who are still not subscribed subscribe, we'll easily reach the milestone. Anyways, here we go. First of all, if you guys have watched the interview I did with Boom himself, you'd know that Boom didn't even...
Yeah, i-a răspuns ăsta, first Lester.
Even count episode 72 in the episodes that he was hyped for in the near future. Even though this is the case, this episode really did not disappoint. It actually kind of felt like the OG episodes with all the chaos in the beginning. But it's crazy that Boom said that episodes 73 and 74 will be even better, when in part 2 of episode 72, we'll most likely get to watch a crazy battle. I really am so hyped for the next couple episodes. This episode starts with the ending of episode 70, part 3.
Deci episodul începe la sfârșitul episodului 70 aici, când a murit plânge cameramanul.
Dies and his POV goes offline. And the POV actually changes to the mech scientist toilet. We can actually see that it says cameraman _ scientist _ 1337 on the tablet itself, meaning that all the cameramen have their job titles written down. Seeing Plunger Cameraman's POV go offline right at the end of the battle.
Da, deci ăsta cameramanul ăsta a văzut că POV-ul Plunger Cameramanului s-a stins, e camera offline.
Must have been so hard for the mech cameraman, because if you guys didn't know, he was one of Plunger Cameraman's best friends. We literally saw them go out in battle together.
Mamă, deci ăsta Plunger Cameraman era foarte bun prieten cu ăsta Mech cameraman. Mamă, deci de-aia
in the earlier episodes. And this is shown by his reaction when he smashes his mech after seeing the offline screen, but he has no time to mourn since there is an actually battle going on next to him. He looks to the road and we see one of the scenes we saw in one of the leaks. We can see the reinforcement cameraman.
Deci scena asta practic din niște leak-uri.
Man fighting against the toilets, but suddenly the new police mutant toilet that we saw in the leaks shoots his rockets at the mech cameraman, forcing him to hold back while the other cameramen are struggling. This leads to mech cameraman using his lasers to get back at the police mutant toilet, but he easily blocks it thanks to his crazy shield. That's not all, because if we go back to episode 54 and look at the mech cameraman, he definitely had different weapon arms.
Exact așa. Dar nu mai știam eu cum se numea. Exact de ăsta vă ziceam. Dar eu credeam că ăsta n-are picioare. Că am văzut că s-a ridicat din și era picioare. Dar ciudat. Habar n-am.
This means that he either just got an upgrade or maybe he has different arms depending on the mission.
Da, și-a făcut upgrade, care are brațe mult mai diferite.
Going because last time he used a stun dart to stun the glitch toilet. And in this episode, he is like a killing machine with lasers, blades, and fists.
Da, și
After using his lasers, a new type of mutant toilet shows up and starts rushing towards the mech cameraman. This mutant toilet looks like a combination of the buzzsaw mutant and the police mutant.
Deci zice că toaleta asta mutată este o combinație între toaleta aia cu fierăstraiele și o toaletă de poliție.
But unlucky for him, the mech cameraman smacks the Skipidi out of him, knocking him down and using his crazy lasers to kill the mutant toilet.
Da, și
We talked about this in the leaked video, but it really does seem like we'll be seeing a lot more mutant toilets every new episode if it goes like this. After killing the mutant, mech cameraman turns back to help the other cameraman by killing one of the rocket launcher toilets,
Deci,
but it
după ce l-au omorât și toate privea spre
doesn't
ăștia,
end here because another one of the buzzsaw mutants jump on him from nowhere, but blood stops him at the last second. Thankfully, mech cameraman doesn't get hurt, but the mutant toilet destroys his tablet right before mech cameraman pulls out the blade he had in his arm to stab him in his head. But the weird thing is, almost no blood comes out of his head, and instead of like a head stab...
Bună observație, deci chiar dacă i-a băgat cuțitania în cap, n-a ieșit niciun pic de sânge din el. Bro, ciudat!
...sound we hear like a machine stabbing sound. What's even weirder is that after the mech cameraman throws him onto the ground, he gets up once again as if nothing happened, even though he was stabbed in the head. But before he can do anything, the mech cameraman uses the lasers to completely demolish the mutant toilet. Suddenly, mech cameraman looks behind and sees another one of these mutant toilets jumping onto him, and he also kills that one without any hesitation. But sadly, he can see 3 rocket launcher toilets, 1 helicopter toilet, and 2 more mutant toilets on their way to kill him. If you look carefully and zoom in, you can see that even though these 2 mutant toilets look similar to the last few, they actually have different weapons. One only has his fists, and the other one has 2 axes. But before we can see them fight, mech cameraman turns to his left and sees his cameraman friends get cut in half by the sickle the police mutant toilet has. These 2 cameramen really had the same fate as Dark Speaker Man and Plunger Cameraman. Rest in peace to all of them.
Da,
also,
adevărat, rest in peace, Plunger Cameraman și Dark Speaker Man.
What's funny about this weapon is that it is the same weapon Death uses.
Și asta. Deci crigurile astea sunt de undeva dintr-un desen sau ce asta? E un vârcolac cu oasele astea în mână. Dar nu știu care e faza cu el. Nu știu, e dintr-un desen, că văd că e așa animat. Habar nu am.
In the last Puss in Boots movie. But that's not all, because this blood is like 4 times the size of the other mutant toilets.
Okay.
Bro looks like he can bench a whole Titan. And he has no mercy, because even after cutting the cameraman in half, he also steps on one of them as if it's nothing while shooting off 2 rockets at the mech cameraman, and he dodges them while starting up his lasers to attack the police mutant toilet. But the police mutant opens up his shield to block the attacks once again.
Surprinde clipe minunate cu
Mech cameraman to slap him with the sickle and stab it into the mech to break his systems. But luckily enough, the police mutant toilet suddenly gets shot right on his neck, knocking him back a little, and this is no ordinary attack, because if you look carefully, it literally made him bleed, and Bro was shook when he saw what attacked him. After seeing the police mutant shocked, the mech cameraman also looks behind, and we see a bunch of toilets trying to kill a flying object, but they all end up dying. Once this flying thing lands down, it's revealed that it's an upgraded version of the Strider cameras and holy...
Este o versiune upgradată a Strider Cameraman. Știți, asta era în primele episoade, dacă vă aduceți aminte. Nu știu dacă o să arate tipul ăsta, dar e din primele episoade sa Strider ăsta.
We see the Strider shoot the police mutant toilet a couple times, which leads to him trying to escape, but Bro stumbled on something and fell down with the goofy metal sound. Mech cameraman looks back at the Strider camera, and out of nowhere something attacks him, so we look back once again and see a Commander Soldier toilet coming out of nowhere, and Bro is chilling
un soldat Commander,
because he doesn't even drop his cigar while getting attacked by a bunch of explosive beams and keeps shooting his rockets. Thankfully, the new Strider camera is so strong that These attacks don't even scratch him, and he actually uses his main weapon, which is the camera lens itself, to shoot a crazy powerful beam, just like the Titan cameraman, and the Commander Soldier toilet literally does the goofy sound while dying with the goofy metal sounds after he dies. I really was not expecting that sound effect while watching Bruh. That one really made me laugh. While we are on the topic of sound effects, Boom sent me his editing timeline for this episode, and it's crazy. The amount of time...
Deci, din edit sunetul ăsta. Interesant, ok.
Time that goes into, even just the sound effects are crazy. Bro literally has a whole maze in his editing timeline. After this, we see the mech cameraman giving a double thumbs up, and it's funny because he uses one mech hand and one normal hand while doing this. Right after this, we see the mech cameraman slowly walking towards the police mutant toilet, while we can clearly hear and see the Strider camera protecting him. And honestly, this is where the real deal of the episode starts. Mech cameraman throws a toilet paper grenade while walking towards the injured police mutant, and he actually stops in front of him to grab his sickle to most likely use against him, but before he can do that, the police mutant flips him off, and suddenly we start hearing some explosion sounds, which leads to the police mutant toilet laughing because he knows what's coming. Out of nowhere, G-Man Toilet shows up destroying everything once again, just like what happened in episode 71, and once again he does the Rizzy eyebrow emote, but this time while attacking the mech camera.
Și episodul 71 a dat la fel un emote de la Riz.
Man, bro can't get away with this every single time. He almost kills the mech cameraman as well. But we dodge attack as much as we can while the Strider camera starts flying and attacking G-Man Toilet. But sadly, even he is not strong enough to go against G-Man. Also, we see G-Man Toilet using a new yellow shield, and it looks awfully like the Titan cameraman shield from episode 64 and 65. Most likely because they stole the Titan cameraman shield tech to use...
A mai fost scutul ăsta și nu mi-aduc eu aminte? Nu mai știu dacă a fost scutul ăsta. Nici nu cred, nici măcar nu știu dacă avea scutul atunci. Abar nu am.
It themselves. It's crazy because we really don't know what type of upgrades G-Man Toilet got. And at the end of the episode, it looked like he still had some new tools that he hasn't showed us yet. After he shields himself, he uses only his left side rockets to literally demolish the Strider camera, and right when this is happening, the mech cameraman's mech starts giving out errors, so he jumps down to protect himself, and the mech literally explodes a second later. We also can see the mech scientist walking, even though he lost his legs in the earlier episodes.
Uite, vedeți, v-am zis că n-are picioare, uite că și zice aici, că și-a pierdut picioarele.
This most likely means that he got his legs back, just like the other cameraman who were injured in the battlefield after getting up once again. We can see the whole squad who was with G-Man in episode 71.
Mamă, e squadul ăla de episod 71. Știți, toaletele alea cu containerele.
Slowly continuing their way. And funny enough, we can see the DJ Toilet floating once again. Bro really is a different breed.
DJ Toilet.
After almost everyone continues their way, one of the mechanic toilets slow down to say something to G-Man Toilet, and we see G-Man Toilet lowering his head lasers to talk back to him, but it's unknown what they talked about, and what happens right after this scene was the real shocker, because out of nowhere, the Claw Astro Toilet shows up, and bro is gigantic. He literally is bigger than G-Man Toilet from what it looks like, and he instantly grabs the mechanic toilet with his gravity claws to kill him, and literally throws it back to G-Man while actually talking to G-Man Toilet. And once again he is speaking English. I actually asked about him talking English.
Deci ăsta nu are cuvintele inversate, el vorbește pur și simplu în engleză, dar vorbește gen atât de ciudat, și așa. Oh, nu. Așa, deci în felul ăsta o reșești și nu poți să înțelegi nimic.
Boom. And in our Q&A, he mentioned that all the Skibidis knew all the languages, but they prefer speaking Skibidi. And he says, you know the penalty for treason, Commander. No one escapes justice. Here you go. Listen to it yourself.
Yes, it is. Deci, your treason, Commander. Tu știi penalty for treason, Commander. Ce înseamnă asta?
And G-Man is not fazed by this at all and starts charging up all of his weapons this time to get ready and attack with a grin on his face. But what was the Astro Toilet talking about? He called G-Man a commander and mentioned that he was a traitor. This reveals why the Astro Toilet...
A menționat că ăsta... Commander ăsta... El e un trădător?
Toilets were after G-Man Toilet, but we don't exactly know what the treason was. The Astro Toilet saying no one escapes justice means that they are there to kill G-Man off to serve their justice. I think it's likely that we'll get to learn more about this treason in the next couple episodes because it really could be anything. Whatever happens in the next episode is going to be crazy, and it actually will be the first time we see a toilet versus toilet battle, which I'm so excited about.
Și vom vedea această bătălie, toaletă versus toaletă, doar că nu seamănă ambele la fel. Una e astro, una e gen toaletă normală. Bine, puțin spus normală, dar na, chiar o să fie o luptă nebună în episodul următor.
Whatever happens in the next episode is going to be crazy, and it actually will be the first time we see a toilet versus toilet battle, which I'm so excited about.
Nu. Și chiar, deci, oricum, Erica Norman chiar de dreptate, chiar o să fie super, super tare când aceste două toalete o să se lupte. Deci episodul următor chiar o să fie super interesant și chiar abia aștept să apară, probabil într-o săptămână sau din nou o săptămână, habar nu am când o să apară, dar și când o să apară o să fie super isei, dar da fraților, cam ăsta a fost episodul. Să spuneți în comentarii cine credeți că o să câștige din această bătălie? O să câștige G-Man MK4 sau Toaleta Astru? Să spuneți acolo în comentarii și da, eu am fost mai tipețe, sper că ați lăsat și voi pe butonașul de like și noi ne vom vedea data viitoare. Pa, pa!